and now turning to our neighbors from the south to help us in our time of need.
Canadian wildfire smoke hits our area hard today. When will it clear up? And what exactly is happening in Canada?
And it's a championship season for UW Whitewater on the diamond. Now the Warhawks brought out the big bats to clinch a championship.
And have you received one of these scam texts this week? People all over the city have. We'll tell you how police are trying to track down the sender. Welcome to News 3 Now at 5.
Now we start with our first warn forecast. You can see the smoke out there back after yesterday's rains. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us indoors with when things are expected to clear up. Alex.
Eric, southern Wisconsin, air quality not good, as you were just saying out there right now. Widespread moderate to unhealthy for some. There's some areas just off towards the east, towards Lake Michigan, that are in that unhealthy category. But as we get this mixing of that smoke from higher up down to the ground, this modulates an overall air quality over the course of the next 24 hours, at least through noon on Thursday, is expected to be in that unhealthy category. So what that means is if you are susceptible or sensitive to the smoky conditions, you want to limit your outdoor activities, maybe stay inside, turn the AC on. But let's put our smoke model into motion here, where you see the yellows. That's over Lone Rock to Madison, over towards Juneau. You take note here as we go through the nighttime, we keep some of the yellow in the area, and as we go into Thursday, we see more in the way of blue building in, and blue would be healthier conditions. So as we go into Thursday and going on into Friday, we should see improvement in the air quality as smoky conditions get pushed more towards the west. Now, hazy skies out there, they aren't keeping those temperatures from being nice and mild. 73 in Madison, 80 right now. And then Delson 72 to the south in Janesville, where they got some healthy amounts of rain. That's good news for areas near the Wisconsin-Illinois border. 73s Madison areas to the east, 75s off towards the west. As we plan your evening, again, if you're susceptible to these poor air quality conditions, it's advised to stay inside this evening.
All right, Alex, thank you. And that haze and smoke causing those health concerns have a lot of people wondering what is happening with the wildfires in Canada. At the moment, 2 people are dead and 33,000 have been evacuated amid fires that are burning in 3 of Canada's 10 provinces.
Yeah, over 212 active fires are burning in Canada, half of them classified as out of control. So far, the fires have scorched about 7,500 square miles. That's the equivalent of everything south of Madison all the way to the Illinois border, completely burned in Wisconsin. Now, the other question that comes up is, what is starting these fires?
It's been a hot, dry spring with a lack of precipitation, and there's lots of material in the forests which allow these fires to burn fast and spread fast. Crews have put in restrictions to keep people out of the backcountry, and they've banned fires across the province.
The fire danger in Canada remains extreme, and crews are concerned about new fires starting on top of the ones that they are already fighting.
Well, here's a map of today's conditions. Now, the red indicates unhealthy, which means members of sensitive groups could experience more serious health effects breathing that air, and members of the general public could also experience health effects. Luckily for tomorrow, the smoke will start to clear out. It drops to the orange level, which means it will still be unhealthy, however, for some sensitive groups.
Well, the UW Whitewater Warhawks are national champions once again, crushing Messiah 21-5 to claim their 3rd baseball title in program history.
The Warhawks exploded early, led by Andy Thies' 3-run homer in the first. Dominant start from pitcher Kate Hansen, who gave up just 1 hit over 5 innings. Whitewater added run after run, totaling 19 hits. With Adam Kootway, he's been hot all postseason, falling just a double short of the cycle. Messiah did score 5 runs late, but Whitewater held on easily to secure the win and the national championship. Next at 5, the Better Business Bureau sent out a memo this morning alerting people of a new scam.
Scams and scammers are ever evolving, and this time they're using tariffs as a way to swindle people out of their money. The Better Business Bureau reporting Wednesday morning that scammers are re-upping their common online shopping scams.
Scams are usually topical, as is this one. Basically, they've taken an old scam. Online purchase scams have been in the top 3 for the last several years.
This time using tariffs as the vehicle.
Scammers follow the news. Tariffs have been in the news recently since the new administration picked up. So this is a very recent scam for us to be sending out to consumers in the marketplace to be aware of.
If you were to accidentally purchase an item from a fake website, BBB says scammers are now telling people tariffs are the reason an item is in limbo as well as asking people for additional payments post the initial purchase to make up for the added cost of the tariff, as well as their traditional tactics of giving fake tracking numbers and nearly non-existent customer service.
The first thing you want to do is do your homework. Just like you would do your homework on a business or a contractor you're using in your community, you want to do your homework on the company that you are purchasing from. You're going to get a lot of good information in order to make an informed decision if that's a company that you should move forward with.
BBB says moving forward to be mindful of these things while shopping online. Be cautious of tariff-related excuses. Look beyond the website or social media ad that brought you to the website. Always inspect the website and use a credit card, not a debit card. For now, reporting in the newsroom, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Jalen, thank you. If you or someone you know has been impacted by this scam or any other, you can report it to bbb.com/scam tracker.
And an update on that texting scam we told you about. Madison police are now tracking fake texts claiming to be from the Wisconsin DMV. The messages say you owe money for a traffic ticket and threaten registration, suspension, prosecution, or loss of driving privileges if you don't pay. Even a few people in our newsroom got this one. Police say don't respond, don't send money, and look up the number online to see if it's linked to a scam.
A woman is in custody this afternoon after allegedly stabbing a man last night on Madison's southwest side. Police were sent to Atticus Way near Harbor Freight and AutoZone around 11:30. Officers say they saw the man with a stab wound on his chest, and he was taken to a nearby hospital. They arrested the female suspect, and the man has since been released from the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Madison residents can now reserve a portable defibrillator through the city's fire department. The launch coincides with National CPR and AED Awareness Week. The devices known as AEDs are easy to use and can help save lives during sudden cardiac arrest. To reserve one, there's the number on your screen, 608-266-4420, or you can email fire@cityofmadison.com. And for a hands-on CPR lesson, fire department hosting a free class June 25th. That'll be at Fire Station 13.
Well, as measles cases continue to rise across the U.S., researchers are using sewage wastewater to track the virus. And now the first national wastewater monitoring aims to detect measles where people are infected. Cases could potentially be identified days before people show symptoms or go to the doctor. The new program is available for use at dozens of wastewater treatment plants in 40 states, including testing here in Wisconsin in Wausau. The vast majority of the current 1,100 current cases of measles are in Texas, and no cases so far have been reported in Wisconsin.
A CDC official who was on the independent committee weighing changes to the agency's COVID-19 vaccine recommendations has resigned. They resigned when the Department of Health and Human Services announced it had removed the CDC recommendations for pregnant women and healthy children to get the vaccine. That decision went against available medical evidence for pregnant women. In a new update from Wisconsin's Department of Health Services, they say they continue to recommend the current COVID-19 vaccine to protect against severe illness.
Middleton is celebrating a brand new lakefront park. The city will host a grand opening for Lake Street Park this Friday at 4 o'clock with a ribbon cutting. City leaders will be speaking and a family-friendly printmaking activity will be held. The park adds new trails, a lakeside dock, and more green space. City staff say this offers a place to gather, relax, and enjoy Lake Mendota.
Dane County and Madison Parks teaming up for their permit-free weekend. That means free access to dog parks, disc golf courses, mountain bike trails, and the Tenny Locks, and much more. County officials say it's a chance to explore over 18,000 acres of natural areas, 100 miles of trails, and hidden gems across the region, from paddling on Lake Mendota to hiking Blooming Prairies or biking the Capital City Trail. Dane County Executive Melissa Agard says there's something for everyone.
The American Family Insurance Championship will bring top PGA golf Hall of Famers to Madison this weekend, but organizers say the impact will expand a lot further than just 3 days or those 18 holes. Since its inception in 2016, the tournament has been hosted at University Ridge Golf Course, but for the first time this year, TPC Wisconsin will host. The venue's executive vice president, Dave Oleschik, says they're ready for the expected audience of 10,000 spectators per day.
A lot of people come from all over the country to visit and be part of this tournament. We're excited to take it over and hopefully build on the success that has already been here.
That success has generated more than $100 million for the local economy throughout the tournament's 9-year run.
Well, that wildfire smoke sticking around for at least another day. We'll tell you when the air will clear and the rain returns ahead in your full First Warn forecast.
And then, are you headed to Iowa? A closed bridge could add an hour to your trip, but a fix is starting today.
And on Wall Street, red numbers for the Dow Jones Industrial Average falling some 92 points. NASDAQ up 61.5. S&P adds a half point. We'll be right back.
News 3 now at 5.
A live look now at Dubuque, Iowa, which serves as one of 2 Mississippi River crossing points between La Crosse and Sabula, Iowa. The number of crossings has shrunk since the Lansing Bridge near Viroqua has been closed indefinitely, but the Iowa Department of Transportation is now offering shuttle and water taxi services starting today. Departures start just before 7 in the morning to just after 5:30 in the evening, Monday to Saturday.
More than 82,000 Wisconsin residents have added emergency contact info to their DMV records just 1 year after the program launched. The Inform Families First law, signed by Governor Evers back in 2023, helps police quickly reach loved ones during an emergency. That information is private, accessed only by law enforcement, and doesn't appear on your license. You can sign up online anytime at wisconsindmv.gov/emergency contact.
The Ho-Chunk Nation is kicking off its 4th annual Dugout Canoe Journey to celebrate indigenous traditions and ancestral waterways. On Monday, they started at the Fox River in Green Bay, stopped at the Neville Public Museum, and they're now heading for Milwaukee. This 4-day trip passes through Sturgeon Bay, Whitefish Dune State Park, and ends with discussions on preservation in Milwaukee. Well, next at 5, on a personal note, we want to share that our thoughts and prayers as we send them to our loved, as we send all of our love to our former co-worker, something many of you probably have heard about on social media, Carlene Wild.
Carlene was on our team here from 1998 until 2005 and an intern here during her college years at UW. Sadly, her husband, Casey Wilson, was killed in a car crash early Monday on I-90 outside Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Casey and Carlene had a beautiful blended family out in South Dakota. They also shared a love of music and played in the band The Barnflies together. They even performed last month at Botham Vineyards in Barneveld.
And in the wake of the tragedy, a GoFundMe page has been established to help the family, Carlene, as well as Casey's surviving children. Feel free to help if you can. Carlene, a Poynette native, as I mentioned, she went to UW, a Channel 3 alum. Our thoughts are with her at this difficult time.
Well, with smoky skies still hanging over the area, let's check in with Alex at the First Warn Weather Desk.
And how long will this haze last is probably that question on everybody's mind. We've got about 24 hours, maybe a little bit less than 24 hours. Hazy conditions tonight. As we go into Thursday, skies will become cloudy. Winds are going to turn around from a different direction. That's going to help blow some of that smokiness off to the west. And as we head towards Friday and Saturday, a little bit of rain enters the picture, but better chances for rain are also in our forecast. More on that in a couple moments. Here's our live Dodgeville Upland Hills sky cam. If you take a look, that milky white sky, that's how I like to explain that. That is that smoke, that's that haze that's in the atmosphere all the way from those wildfires way up in the Canadian provinces that makes its way down to the south and to the east. And that's why we have air quality advisories and alerts, air quality warning, and in fact until noon on Thursday. So we're going to continue to see conditions in that unhealthy range. Unhealthy, what does that mean? If you are susceptible to these sorts of conditions, have any conditions that make this air not easy for you to breathe, not easy for you to be out in, this is a time where you want to limit those outdoor activities. Stay indoors, shut the windows, turn the AC on to get some relief. And if you do have to be outdoors, just limit those activities. But the good news is right now that smoke near the ground, while I showed you the hazy skies high up in the sky, near the ground, some of the smoke concentrations here are approaching that moderate to unhealthy, but seeing some local improvement. This ebbs and flows throughout the daytime as we get mixing in the atmosphere higher up, bringing smoke down. Some of it disperses and moves around. As we put this into motion and we go a little bit further into the future, notice as we go into Thursday morning, maybe some moderate levels of smoke concentration near the ground from Watertown, Juneau, east over towards the Milwaukee area. As we go through the rest of the day, it fizzles out because we're going to have some winds coming in out of the east, and that's going to help to push some of that smoke back out to the west. And it looks like we're going to stay away from the smoke plume for a couple of days at least. Also want to make note, too, if you're susceptible to tree pollen, grass, mold, and weeds. Right now, trees, grass, and weeds, that's in the moderate category right now. I know I've been dealing with some of the tree pollen that's been out there over the course of the past week. I've had a couple times where I've said, I got a frog in my throat. That's because of the trees. I deal with that. So if you're dealing with pollen-related issues as well, you might want to shut the windows, turn the AC on as another example. Now, rain. We had some decent amounts of rain. I'm going to show you some estimated totals here and a picture in just a moment. Next chance of rain may be on your mind as well. Friday afternoon and Saturday afternoon, again, with heat of the day, there is a small potential for some showers. But as we go into Sunday afternoon and then perhaps again on Monday afternoon, a better chance of seeing some showers and some thunderstorms. Look at some of these totals here. I have been saying for days, if not weeks now, areas stretching from Darlington to Monroe to Janesville over to Elkhorn. You've been having moderate drought conditions. Now tomorrow we get an update with our drought monitor, and look at the conditions that we've had here. We've had anywhere between a ½ inch to an inch of water, 3 inches sent to us by Jim. Jim's been very, very pleased with the rain that has been received. 50s tonight, hazy conditions, highs in the 70s tomorrow with that haze slowly decreasing, but clouds on the increase out ahead of our another weather system brings us better chances for rain as we head towards Sunday. 70s out there right now in Dane County. Plenty of low 70s, a beautiful evening, but again, you may want to consider staying indoors tonight with the hazy conditions that we have as temperatures slip down into the 50s. We dry out next week before we warm up and turn more humid later next week.
All right, Alex, thank you. A quick heads up, now is the time to cast your vote in Madison Magazine's Best of Madison competition.
Yeah, voting officially open now, runs through the end of the month. This final round is different. You're only allowed one vote per category. Eligible voters must live in Dane County or nearby areas like Columbia, Dodge, Iowa, Greene, Rock, Jefferson, and Sauk counties. Head to the link on your screen right there to make your pick. We'll just had a closer look at the case of a Milwaukee man accused of trying to frame an undocumented immigrant. That story next at 5.
News 3 now at 5.
New details are emerging in the case of a Wisconsin man accused of trying to frame an undocumented immigrant.
Prosecutors say he admitted to sending letters to authorities threatening to assassinate President Trump with the migrant's name and return address.
As Mike Bayermeister reports, prosecutors say he wanted the man deported before he could testify against him.
Demetric Scott now facing 4 more felony charges, as investigators believe he framed Ramon Morales Reyes by threatening to assassinate President Donald Trump. According to the criminal complaint on May 21st, the Wisconsin Attorney General's office, Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman, and the Milwaukee Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office all received handwritten letters like this one, with a return address for Ramon Morales Reyes, threatening to shoot the President of the United States. On May 22nd, ICE arrested Morales Reyes. A detective interviewed him using translation assistance since Morales Reyes could not read, write, or fluently speak English. Both his family and attorney have also stated that as well. Now, in that interview, Morales Reyes was asked if anyone wanted to get him in trouble. He stated the only person who would want to get him in trouble, the person who robbed him, Demetric Scott. Court records show Scott was scheduled for a jury trial on July 14th for that case. Reyes was the victim. On May 28th, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem shared a photo of the letter claiming that Morales Reyes wrote it. She also issued this statement on his arrest, reading in part, "Thanks to our ICE officers, this illegal alien who threatened to assassinate President Trump is behind bars." On May 30th, MPD interviewed Scott, where he admitted that he wrote the letters, not Morales Reyes. When asked why, Scott told investigators freedom, sharing that his intentions were not to go after the president, but to prevent Morales Reyes from testifying at his trial. According to court records, Scott had made calls to his mom and others while in jail about mailing the letters. "I went to go try and talk with her.
This mailbox is not currently accepting messages."
But no one answered. However, his mother told investigators she did not have any idea what was written in those letters.
The judge delayed a decision this afternoon on whether Ramon Morales Reyes will be released on bond. The judge will revisit the case next week to decide if he poses a flight risk or danger. We'll have a final check of your first warning forecast when we come back.
Stock market roller coaster ride can make saving for retirement nerve-wracking. How do you weather the ups and downs?
And he was involved in one of the most infamous plays in the history of pro football by scoring in the wrong end zone. The curious life of an NFL great. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up at 6, the vast majority of all fireworks are produced in China, and we'll talk with local businesses about how tariffs could affect the cost of fireworks and its supply this 4th of July. That's next hour. News 3 Now at 6.
And Alex is here with a final check of the weather and when this thick haze in the air is going to go away.
Yeah, you can see it outside. You can even smell it at times, that smoky smell. Eventually, it will be out of here by about 24 hours. So that's certainly good news.
Yeah.
And then after our smoky conditions end, as we go on into Thursday, then we are going to change our attention back to rain and shower and storm chances. But right now, air quality out there, moderate to unhealthy for some, according to our latest air quality information. This overall air quality as we go through at least noon tomorrow, at times we'll get into the unhealthy category. This means if you are sensitive or susceptible to these smoky conditions, please limit your outdoor activities as much as possible. But the good news is that yellow, that orange that you see, it dissipates as we go into Thursday. Winds come in out of the east and blows that smoke off towards the west. So we will have improvement coming up tonight at 6. We'll talk more about those upcoming rain chances.
All right, Alex, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at 5. Coming up now, the CBS Evening News. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.
You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000.